Nintendo has a problem. Now, if you're not aware, for the past year or so, users who have a Nintendo Switch have been experiencing something called Joycon drift. Now, if you're not sure what Joycon drift is, or you can't quite remember, I'll give you a little rundown. It's basically when the joysticks in either one of your Joy-Cons basically either dies or it starts to move in random directions. Now, if it's on the left joystick, this will cause you to move in random directions when you're playing a game, or it will cause misinputs. And relatively the same thing on the right trigger, but just a little different as some games don't use the right... I said right trigger. Some games don't use the right joystick. In games like Breath of the Wild, it will make you look around very slowly. Now, this doesn't sound horrible, but it actually can be very detrimental to casual play and competitive play. Now, what can you do to prevent Joy-Con drift? Joy-Con drift is caused by a lot of factors, including dust and dirt getting inside of the joystick of your Joy-Con, which is actually a pretty easy fix. You just need a little Q-tip with some rubbing alcohol, and you just, there's a little flap that's underneath your joystick. If you just flip that up and you clean under there for like a minute and then let it dry, then your joystick will probably be fine. And another solution is if it's like water got in it, then you can use the Find My Joy-Con feature on your Switch in the controller settings and basically just vibrate the Joy-Con until all the water comes out, which is pretty creative. And to see if you've gotten rid of your Joy-Con drift completely, you can go to calibrate your joysticks, and if it doesn't move at all for about, I usually do 20 seconds in like every direction. If it doesn't move at all, or there's no dead zones, then you're perfectly fine. Now, if neither of those methods work and you're still experiencing Joy-Con drift when you go to calibrate it, then it might be on an internal issue. So you can see on my Joy-Cons right here, these are actually, well, they were neon red and neon blue Joy-Cons that I got with my original Switch, which is right there. You can see I've replaced the joystick on both, and that was because I was experiencing very bad Joy-Con drift for about a month. So I had to stop using these things, and I bought like off-brand Joy-Cons from eBay or something. But you might have to actually take apart the Joy-Con and replace the joystick itself, which might seem scary, and, for people who haven't done a lot of controller modding in the past or aren't really familiar with taking electronics apart, that can be very scary, and you also do actually run the risk of breaking your Joy-Con. Now, you go watch videos about Joy-Con drift or Joy-Con shell exchanges, which is what I was going to talk about next, which is virtually what you're doing. You're replacing the joystick, which is a lot simpler than taking everything out and putting it in a different shell, but we'll get to that. So if you go to a video about shell exchanges or shell replacements, then they'll tell you that you really highly run the risk of breaking these. And my first time replacing a controller was actually my Smash 4 GameCube controller had broken, and I didn't want to blow $100 on another one because I really like the Smash 4 one better than the Smash Ultimate one. So what I did was I took an old GameCube controller I had, took it apart, took the PCB out of that, and then stuck it inside of the shell of the Smash 4 GameCube controller, and it worked perfectly fine. It works now. That's virtually what you're doing with these. You're putting them in a different shell. Well, not virtually, you literally are. Now, the reason I did this is because, like I said before, I was experiencing very bad Joy-Con drift, and I thought I might as well just replace the shell because after 2 years, your normal red and blue Joy-Cons kind of get boring. So, I'm actually going to put up some B-roll that I took. So yeah, enjoy. Now, what I recommend a Joy-Con shell exchange, 100%. If you own a Nintendo Switch and you are experiencing Joy-Con drift and you need to take it apart anyways to replace the joystick, if you have gotten that far, you might as well just take the whole thing apart. Now, there are tutorials on YouTube on how to take it apart and, put it in a new shell. I just kind of figured it out because it was really similar to doing the GameCube one. But if you need help, I've linked a video in the description that I think is actually a really good video. And I might make a video myself here soon of how to do this. So, I genuinely think that this is something that's worth doing for any Nintendo Switch owner. Even a Switch Lite owner, if you know what you're doing, honestly, I'd really recommend a whole entire shell replacement on the entire thing. Kevin Kenson did one, and I'm sure if you're watching this video, you're fully aware of Kevin Kenson. He's pretty popular YouTuber. You know, he did one on his Switch Lite, Atomic Purple. It looked really dope. Also, one more thing I want to mention is that the shells that I got are actually really soft plastic, and it feels so much nicer than the actual Joycon, like the Joycon plastic. And I think that these just look really sick. They just look really cool. So if you're experiencing Joy-Con drift and you need to replace the joystick, I highly recommend you just do one of these entirely. If you're not comfortable with that, go ahead, just do the stick replacement. I gotta say though, the right Joy-Con is a lot harder to do than the left Joy-Con. And most people only experience a Joy-Con drift in their left Joy-Con, but if you experience it in your right Joy-Con, you might be a bit screwed if you don't know what you're doing. Nintendo does offer a service so you can send your Joy-Cons in for free, completely free. They'll take it. It'll be about a week. They'll fix your joystick for you, and they'll send it back, basically brand new, which is pretty cool. If you don't want to wait a week, though, and you want to do a shell replacement, I highly recommend it. I've linked an Amazon link down below, and you can go ahead and buy the ones that I have. They're SNES themed, as you can see by the buttons. They also have other kinds, like the aforementioned Atomic Purple. They have like the N64 kind of see-through look with like orange, green, and all those colors if you like those color packs. They also have some other cool ones. I found some great wave ones. You know, basically just pimp out your Switch. It looks really dope. One more thing I want to mention before I forget is that you're going to need a tool set to take apart your Joy-Cons, because Nintendo uses specific screws that are really easy to strip, and they're also really specific to a toolkit. So pick yourself up a toolkit if you're going to do one of these, because Nintendo has plenty of safety measures to prevent people from taking these apart and breaking them. But I mean, that's about it for this video. If you guys enjoyed, go ahead, drop a like. If you disliked it, dislike it, you know, do all that stuff. See you in the next video. Peace.
And them dollars made my spidey sense a ring, ring. And that booty on that thotty made me spring. Then I took her to my pad, made her sing. First she asked me for a thing, now she cling. Then she's bossy, but she threw it. Oh, you hella saucy, did you stew it? Wonder what it cost me. I threw some shoes in, ice be on my body, I'm never bruising. Hey.